It seems that reports of my survival have been greatly exaggerated.
This isn't possible.
Oh, I assure you, it is. How? Not how. Why? You were never meant to come here.
We have our orders. Leave the city, radio command from outside the storm wall. They send in the cavalry, we go home.
Hello there, Seraphim17 once again. This is my Spec Ops The Line, fucked up beyond all recognition difficulty, video walkthrough. This is chapter 13 and this is Adams. So I think this is the hardest mission of the game. A lot of people will agree, some will not. And this is one of the more challenging sequences because we have to get to the guy who's on our team that I can't for the life of me remember his name. And you only have a Desert Eagle, but it's not so much a bad thing as it is the aiming on this game is not as refined and as nuanced as it could be. But this gun, if you hit them in the face or the chest, generally results in one-hit kills. Sometimes you'll have to give them another one, but it's still pretty damn fantastic. Oh, we're trying to find Adams, which is a good thing. So now I can remember the guy's name. But this bit is only challenging because you want to rush to him, and when you rush to him on FUBAR, you get messed up real quick. On your way to him, there's going to be scars on the ground. I would recommend picking them up because the scar is a fantastic weapon and it also comes with a noob tube. And any underslung grenade launcher is definitely a win button on this game. But when you get to this guy, there's going to be a checkpoint on this sequence and then you're going to get attacked by a ton of dudes. The easiest way to do this next section is to run back the way you came, get into cover, get some distance, take your time and pot shot them. I didn't want to do that on my recording run because I'm stubborn and I hate it when games beat me. So I decided balls to the walls to stay here and try and do it this way. And it is significantly harder, but when you die a couple times on this moment, you do get better at doing it. And the only real challenging part, I think, is when the fat guy turns up. When the heavy turns up and you're trying to kill the heavy and somebody else shoots you while you're doing it. And there's various other parts, but I think this is one of the moments where people have a lot of trouble. There's also a section coming up with a boat, which people might have difficulty with. But be careful here of being flanked. The cool thing is when you do start getting flanked, Adams tells you, and he also shoots people for you. One big fear here is grenades. A grenade's going to land near you, you're not going to be able to get too much space from it, and you're just going to have to hold your breath and hope it doesn't kill you. There's ammo beneath me. There's ammo to my left, and I think there's ammo to my right. There's also grenades and a few other things to make sure that you've got enough stuff. This guy means we've killed all the dudes and the heavy's about to spawn. The reason you know that is because he rushed me. The enemies will only really rush like that when they're on their own, when they're the only one left. I have no idea if it's something to do with the Unreal Engine and the way that they do AI, I'm not sure. But it's the same in Gears. You get the most cocky locus when there's one left. He's a douche. But I'm going to use all the underslung grenades I have, all the grenades I have, and probably some blind firing to try and kill this heavy. If he gets to the piece of cover I'm on and doesn't get stuck standing there shooting me like a moron, I'm dead. Luckily enough, they have this portent for doing it. They really do. They seem to just enjoy standing and shooting at you from about 2 yards, and they don't seem to notice they're not doing any good. And one thing I'll say about the heavies too, don't bother shooting the face of them. It's kind of like necromorph logic. Shooting the body seems to do significantly more damage to them than shooting the face. I don't know why, it makes no sense. Once the heavy's down, all you have to do now is pick off stragglers until you get the tick, and you've done one of the hardest sections of the game, in my opinion. Over here is some more of the ammo you could have picked up if you needed it. And as I mentioned, you can run away from that wall if you're having troubles. Adams will be effectively a scapegoat for you, and you can just pick them off at your own leisure, but I didn't want to do that. And this mission is probably the one I died the most in. And I don't even know why. It ain't that bad. It's just one of those things where it just seemed to kick my ass a bit. Like this I think it's this checkpoint coming up. If we're about to move into an area that's got a bunch of shit debris across a field and there's a boat with a sniper on it, this one took me a little bit. Yeah, we are. This bit is dumb as shit, because your AI buddy goes down so much, and every time you pick him up, you get instantly wiped out. So this is one of those moments where you need to really be on the ball, and like when I record a guide like this, one that doesn't really need all that much attention from me, I'm generally watching something, I'm generally, you know, a little bit blasé with it, but these moments definitely made me, you know, sit forward, hunch, and start focusing, because there's a load of enemies, there's not that many checkpoints, and there's even a bullshit surprise cockface coming up later on when you think everybody's dead. And if it kills you, you've got to do it all again. And I really don't get it. And I've been looking for a job online on the gaming jobs online list or something like that. And I've been looking through all the available games jobs in my country. There's been everything from, you know, a bunch of like companies I've never heard of to Team 17 looking for a new creative director. And I totally wanted to apply for the creative director, because not only are Team 17 not too far away from me, but you know, they're quite an awesome, well-known company. I mean, they made Worms, and don't get me wrong, apparently they don't like you to mention that because it's really the only full success that they've had, which I think is a little harsh on the other games they've tried to make. But awesome team, creative director, which is a position I would love to be in. And then I looked at the requirements for it, and Jesus Christ, guys, they like wanted you to speak a foreign language. And I know to some people they're like, oh well, English is my second language, I can speak all the languages. I'm sure you can, because you're a gifted and awesome person, but I did Spanish at school, and I was pretty good at it until they introduced the concept of tenses, and then it just went to hell in a handbasket. And I've pretty much, in the years away from school, which is, you know, give or take about 8, I've forgot everything I learned about that language. And the requirements, one of them was, must have experience in a AAA title dev suite. And I'm thinking, well, I've played AAA titles. I've also openly spoken about dev offices and dev suites, so maybe that gives me a little bit of qualifications there. And the other one was to hold I think a producer position, and to have put out 2 recent titles. 2 recent titles! How the hell do you get a job in this industry if you've never been in the damn industry? So I didn't apply, even though I wanted to, and I probably might, just to, you know, balls to the wall set. I have absolutely no experience in any of these areas, but I will hump your leg even to sweep up. You know, just to get in these industries. And it was just amazing. And one of them was a difficulty. I don't know if it was a difficulty producer, difficulty manager, difficulty designer, and it wasn't for Team 17. It was for some Android app game or something like that. I'm not entirely sure what kind of game it was, because as soon as I looked down and it was like, you must speak 3 different languages, you must have, you know, produced all these AAA titles. Like, oh, please, just let me in, you bastards. And I was looking at it and I was thinking, well, that'd be a really good position, a difficulty designer, because I've played so many difficulties in games that I've got a pretty decent understanding and knowledge of how they define, you know, the parameters of difficulty. And at the same time, it would give me the opportunity to try and come up with a really good one, or a really well-versed one. There was also just a position for a company that's in Leicester, in England, and it was a designer position, and my immediate response is designer. It's going to need you to do, you know, Photoshop work. It's going to need you to do drawing and concept stuff and like that. And don't get me wrong. Oh, by the way, guys, these are the surprise cockfaces. If you push up towards the boat, you get ambushed by these 2 people. You need to be very aware of it, or you can get in a real big spot of bother. They kill you. You've got to do this entire fight again, and that's what, 5 minutes wasted. So cheap, no checkpoint. But there we go. So it was a design position in this company, and I'm a pretty good artist. I'm not, you know, when you look at the concept designs on the extra features of a game, and they've done it in Photoshop, and it kind of looks like it's just a mess of squiggles that somehow comes together to make the most beautiful thing you've ever seen, and you don't know how the hell they did it. I'm kind of like that. I can draw pretty well to a certain extent. I'm pretty good at Photoshop. I'm not so good at drawing in Photoshop because I don't have, you know, a tablet or anything, but I probably could if I put some time to it. But I am nowhere near the level of those insanely good concept artist people. So my immediate response is, shit, I can't apply for anything like this because I'm just not good enough. I can blag it, I can say I'm the boss, and I can try my hardest and probably get something looking really nice, but at the same time, I feel like I'm doing the company a disservice. Disservice is not a word. I don't know why I keep saying that. A disservice, sorry. Because I'm not giving them what they need, and to me that would make me feel bad. But when I looked further into the duties of this position, it was a design across the entire thing. It was essentially looking into every section of the game, be it the weaker sections or the sections that work, and somehow, giving feedback and creative ideas on how to make those areas better. And I was immediately like, that sounds like a dream. And I knew then, when I checked, the requirements for how you get to this position, that it'd be far too good for me, because I've got no experience, guys. I really don't, and I need to. And I'm gonna have to start emailing, just to ask for experience, because it seems like you need to be in a dev team to even stand a chance of being drawn into a bigger production, because it just doesn't seem to work. And the requirements were mad again. They were really mad. You have had to have held a producer position for a certain amount of years. You had to have worked on a certain amount of released titles, and it's like, does RPG Maker count? Because I made a couple of those when I was in college. Don't get me wrong, it was only, the journey through one dungeon to one main town, and that was it, but it's technically a game, and I made it, and it was released to me, and you just feel like that, that insistent old woman at a shop who wants to get a refund for a week-old milk that's gone out of date, and you're just trying to tell the bitch that it's milk, it goes out of date. You can't get a refund on this shit. I don't care how many pennies you're saving. And it's not disheartening, because I kind of expect it. You've got to work your way in and work your way up, but it's just, I don't know, who gets these jobs? It seems like it's, the rich get richer. It's like YouTube. It's the big guys who know the big guys who get everything because they're big. And I suppose a lot of the job climate right now is exactly like that. Because unfortunately, it literally can be who you know rather than what you can do. And it is a shame, but I'm not going to stop sending the emails, and I'm going to start applying for things that are way above me, just so I can get some interaction with people, hopefully, just to put forward the fact that I am passionate about games, really passionate, and I would prefer a more media-based, journalistic position, because I'd love to make videos for a website, I really would, and that'd be my job. But apparently there's so many people making videos out there that you really have to show that you're different, that you're better, that you're of a higher caliber from all the enthusiasts. And how the fuck do you do that when, like, you and yourself are pretty much an enthusiast? The only difference I have from half the other people that make videos is I have an education that taught me how to do it on a more professional level. And a lot of the things that I learnt are all directly related to film production. So these videos are a lot more cavalier. And education does go a long way, and the fact that I have a degree definitely helps me, but it's the experience thing. That experience thing kills you. It really does. So here's a little advice from me, guys. If you're going through schooling right now and you have the opportunity, look at me. What's happening there? Shoot the guy on the floor. There he goes again, Adam's going down. What a boss. But as I was saying, if you have the opportunity to get any kind of experience in the field you want to get in while you're at a university, do it. Even if it means putting it off an extra year so your third year comes slightly later, you need to do it, because the importance of it is, I can't specify enough. Every single position that I've gone to, that I've applied for, there has not been, just IGN or games trailers when I've sent them a really flowery email saying I'm a passionate and creative individual, here's my, creative portfolio, here's what I'd like to provide, just give me an opportunity type deal. Every other place, aside from those that I've applied to, have all requested some kind of experience, and I knew that they would, because I'm not a retard. Experience is everything nowadays, but I was hoping that enthusiasm and determination would carry me where I lacked, the expertise, and it just doesn't seem to be the case, and it's a big shame. But yeah, a lot of different positions going in different companies for a lot of stuff. Phones are massive, and I didn't even realise, because I'm not a phone guy, but gaming on phones seems to be definitely the next frontier when it comes to dev companies, and it kind of makes me want to get a new phone, even though I've only ever owned one phone, and it's a pile of shit, because I'm not a phone guy. And it kind of makes me want to figure out the new phones, just so I'm not crippling myself at a job opportunity. Because, phones nowadays are more powerful than some of the older systems. So it's not like, You know, when you say you're making, or you're in a company that makes phone games, you don't get the universal, it's a phone game. You know, nowadays it's like, yo, dog, it's a phone game. These phones are getting really advanced processors, they're doing a lot of really cool stuff, and, you know, they don't have the budget to make Call of Duties, even though they kind of make them and they're shit on phones. So they're using the budget wisely to make something that's more innovative and, you know, more creative, hopefully. When they're not cloning Angry Birds and, you know, calling it Dastardly Pigeons or whatever. But just keep moving forward, guys. Shooting dudes. Like I said, this mission is tough. If you're struggling with it, just take it slow. Move checkpoint to checkpoint, and you should be okay. Just use your weapons wisely and use your abilities wisely, because you do have an advantage. It's a slight advantage because the computer has perfect aim and they never get bored, but you're still human and you still have that advantage. But I mentioned New Year's resolutions. I can't remember what video it's on because I went on a massive tangent about my journey for trying to get a career in the games industry. And some of the resolutions for the channel, as I mentioned, is, you know, just bigger, better things, hopefully. One thing I really want to do, which I need to talk about, is streaming. So I've been watching a lot of streams. I got modded on a stream last night for beating Dead Space 2 on hardcore, which I thought was pretty funny, pretty interesting. But streaming is, I think it's the future, I really do. And, you know, it's not garlic bread or anything, but it's still pretty good. And it's a replacement for television, and it really is. And not only that, but it opens a lot of doors, and it builds a lot of opportunities. Only problem with it is it involves using software that I've never used before, and I'm extremely unlucky when it comes to software, guys. I'm unlucky with a lot of things, and I generally don't let it bother me because it happens so much, but I just tend to, you know, if there's any known faults with anything or any known problem or something that can go wrong very quickly, it tends to happen to me. And I definitely think it helps build character, but at the same time it's frustrating as balls. And my partnership allows me to get a free copy of XSplit, and it's kind of weird how it works. Everybody says XSplit is free anyway, but, you know, keeps like 20% off and all this other bullshit. So I downloaded XSplit, got it on my computer, and when I was extracting it, my internet security said that it was a virus, said it was some kind of malware inside this installer. And I don't know if it's because the internet security is you know, cock blocking it. I don't exactly know what's happening, but I allowed it through, and I went to install it, and when it started installing, it gets to about halfway through the bar, and then it just stops. It doesn't do anything. And I've left it for 40 minutes, and this machine is pretty good, so it's not like the computer's struggling installing this meg of information, but it keeps crashing and failing, and it just will not install, so I effectively can't get it, and I don't know why. And I've looked on forums and things, and everything seems to be about using it once you've installed it, and I can't even get to the installation process, and it makes me sound like a giant, you know, moron when it comes to technology, but it's not even that. It's just this unluckiness of this bullshit, and I've downloaded it numerous times because I really want it. I don't even know if my internet can support a decent enough stream, and it may be a case of figuring it out now, and then when I move out and get good internet, streaming then. But it opens so many opportunities, and it just will not work for me. So if anybody here is a streamer and you've figured all this shit out and you've had problems, or you know of what I'm speaking of and you fixed it, please feel free to leave some information, to send me a message or whatever, because I really want to figure this stuff out. Oh, in the interlude here, guys, by the way, if you come up here and you go up against cover on the controls behind me, you should be okay. Be careful at the start here, because there's him, that rocket launcher guy. He can usually one-shot you if you're unlucky. He's a bit of a dick, but as soon as the sandstorm comes in, he's completely obsolete because nobody can see shit. But because I was having so much trouble with XSplit, I was on a stream and somebody mentioned OBS, and I didn't know what it meant, and they further elaborated saying that it was this open broadcast service, which is a free alternative to XSplit, but it's not as good, apparently. So I downloaded that, And that one worked fine. Got it on my system and everything. And my only trepidation there is everybody's saying it's worse than XSplit, so I don't want to learn this one piece of software and have it be inferior to the other one. That was really close just then. I'm glad Adams was with me at that moment in time, and the flashbang really helped. But it does work. I can get it up, I can get the streaming screen up. I'm not entirely sure of the settings and everything that I have to do, because it's asking for resolution settings and various other things, which if I sit down with it I can figure out. But at this moment in time I didn't want to bother, because I kind of want XSplit, seeing as how my partnership entitles me to it. And I just really want to stream. It seems so good in so many ways, because it gets rid of all the bullshit. Like, you know, if there's nothing you want to... How common did I sound then? Christ. If there's nothing you want to watch, you go on Twitch TV and you find something you want to watch. And, you know, you kind of get it your own way then. And the people that are really interested in the channel can check it out and watch the process. They can also converse directly with me without delay, which is one of the most honest ways. And it just allows for that, a measure of closeness that YouTube doesn't give. YouTube... Like, people have been calling me pretentious and calling me fucking smug and calling me all these different things. And, like, I like to think that out of all the things I am on this channel, or I try to be in these commentaries, smug isn't one of them. Neither is pretentious. Don't get me wrong, in some of the comments, I might get a little bit arsey and a little bit dickish, but that's just because, you know, it's a comment and it's got no context or tone. But as far as the guides goes, I'm making videos to help people. I don't help anybody by being pretentious. A lot of the other videos, like the multiplayer commentaries, they might have a little bit more to it, but a lot of the times it's probably people misrepresenting how I'm saying things and what I'm doing. And one of the videos that gets this the most is the Go With God My Child, and there's a simple reason for that. A, it's the retards and mongoloids that don't follow the channel and don't realise that the whole purpose of that video is me being a dick in the forest to people who bully others. And B, the whole notion of that title is not because I've got some kind of pseudo-religious belief or I'm trying to mock any kind of religion. It's because Anderson from Helsing says it when he gets off the plane, when he first arrives to come and hunt the Alucard and Sarah's Victoria. So the only people that even remotely understand that title, and when I say that, are the people that have the anime knowledge, and that is kind of obscure. So these people are missing the fucking point completely. And I don't really care for them. But the best thing about streaming is you get to see that this is not just me. This is not an act. Like, I don't hit stop and then immediately after, you know, I walk around going, it's such a good recording, I can't believe I got these fucking idiots to give me money, blah 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 blah. That's not who I am. Oh, right there, guys, I didn't want to kill anybody, but you're supposed to shoot in the sky. That bitch pushed me, nearly killed me, so I capped her and then proceeded to teabag. So, yeah, that's why I did that. But I don't know, streaming is awesome, and I think I'd be a good streamer because I can shit talk with the best of them. We can all have a laugh. I can play some games that I would never put on my channel. It's the future, it really is. And I'm a retard because I can't set it up and I need help. And hopefully the knowledgeable people of the internet can do me a solid. But thanks for watching. I do apologise that I'm not talking nothing but strategy, but we're practically at the end of the game here, guys, and I'm hoping that you've picked up enough by now to get this shit done. It's not too bad, you just need to be patient, and I'm sure you'll do just fine. But thanks for watching, and you take care now.